Welcome everybody, it's Teleman. In this video we are going to be talking about Shaolin Shuffle and how the train/subway system is going to be working inside the map. And also we're going to be talking about the general map layout of the entire map because we have a general idea of that because of the new information I have found. But first let me explain where I found this new information. It's probably not new anymore actually because this interview actually happened a couple days back now, but I just totally missed it. I don't think a lot of people have been covering it, but what it is, it's an interview with Lee Ross and Pam Grier being interviewed by a website called Coming Soon. Now I'll link the full interview down in the description, but it isn't in video or audio format, it's only in typed format, so if you guys want to go check it out, you guys are going to have to read through the whole thing. But what we're going to be doing in this video, we're going to actually focus on something they talk about at the very end. Of what happens is that the Coming Soon person goes and asks, what can you tell us about what else we're going to see? And Lee Ross just goes on talking about how it's going to be in the 70s in Manhattan, and of course we already knew it was in New York, and we knew it was in the 70s, but now he said it's in Manhattan, so that gives us a more general idea. They might have told us it's in Manhattan before, but maybe I just forgot about that. But now we also know it's in Manhattan. But then Pam Grier goes in and says, isn't there a little bit of Harlem? And Lee Ross goes and says something very interesting, and what he says is, yeah, it's going to have bits and pieces of Harlem, Hell's Kitchen, and Greenwich Village. It's definitely as a small slice of the pie of what New York City is. Now this last quote is very interesting because of course he already said it's in Manhattan, but he mentioned 3 specific places inside Manhattan. First, you guys heard them: Harlem, Hell's Kitchen, and Greenwich Village. And this is very interesting how he mentioned these, because if you guys look on a map, as you guys can see, I'll show you this image on screen right now showing these 3 different areas all marked, at the top being Harlem, the middle being Hell's Kitchen, and the bottom being Greenwich Village. If you first look at this at face value and don't think too much about it, then you'll think that this would be a pretty big map, because what you can also see is that these places are 8 miles spread apart, and that's not including the area, that's just the distance between these. So this map would be absolutely humongous, but then you remember that this is only going to have bits and pieces of these different areas. But then you think about how the heck are you going to be traveling between these places, because 8 miles is a lot of ground to cover. And of course most of you could already tell what I'm saying this, but I'm going to actually show you this next image. But before I swap over, I just remember where Hell's Kitchen is, or where B is on the map, because in this next one it didn't let me mark 3 areas at a time, it only let me mark 2. So just kind of remember where B is, and then of course we'll talk about it when we get to the next image. So in this next image you actually see a subway going between Harlem and Greenwich Village. So we already know that there's a real life subway to go between these 3 different areas. Like I said, there is a way to actually get to Hell's Kitchen using the same subway. It's just it's not marked here. It's the same subway, but you're just going to have to do a little walking from the exit of the subway. So as you guys can see, that this subway is actually going to be used for transportation like a normal subway would. That's a bit surprising. It's funny how that's actually surprising because it's zombies and we're just not used to things being used for what they're normally used for. I don't know, maybe it's not that surprising to most people, but I don't know why I found this so surprising. But anyways, back to what we're talking about. This kind of confirms what the subway is going to be used for. I don't know, inside my breakdown I kind of mentioned that it might be a trap. I don't know what I was thinking, but anyways, it is just going to be used for a normal subway and all that good stuff. I'm not too sure if it's going to cost or anything, but we'll have to see when we actually play it. I'm not too sure if you're going to have to fix it either. That'd be pretty interesting. But now let's actually think about how this layout of the map is going to work, because this gives us a general idea of how the map is going to be played, because we do know we're going to have different stops of these 3 different areas, which is a lot of map to cover, because even if you're not including the distance between them, you still have to give a decent amount of place to be inside these 3 different locations, because that would be stupid if they were really small. Well, maybe you could give them a little bit of area, and I hope they don't pull a transit on us. I hope that's not the case. That would be kind of weird, but you know, I guess we'll see what happens. But this is kind of a transit type of deal thing. I'm not too sure if they can make it work, because I'm kind of concerned, even though I'm pretty hyped for it too, because I think that they've seen how transit failed, and if they could find it to work this way, then it'd be really cool. But I'm just kind of scared because obviously it reminds me a bit of transit. I don't know too many people who like that map all that much. But then we have to remember how much of the areas there's going to be able to play in, because we know there's going to be a small part of Harlem, a small part of Hell's Kitchen, and a small part of Greenwich Village. But we also see inside the trailer, we see our characters on top of buildings at some point, and then we also see different areas of the map that will look like a weird sewer area. So we have a lot of areas we're going to be dealing with. So that's Harlem, Hell's Kitchen, Greenwich Village, and maybe inside one of these areas we're going to be on top of the buildings, which takes obviously more map to actually reach the top of the buildings. And then we have the sewer area where we're probably going to be fighting some rats or something like that. We'll have to see when we actually play the map, but it's going to be a pretty interesting layout for it. I hope they get this correct and don't do a transit type deal thing, but we'll have to see when we actually play. I'm actually pretty hyped for it. I'm pretty optimistic, but we'll have to see how this when it comes out. Tell me what you guys think about this train system. Hopefully it's going to be a really fast system and you won't have to actually wait that long. Hopefully there's nothing attacking you while you're on the train, but like I said already a couple times, we're going to have to wait and see when the map actually comes out. But tell me what you guys think about this. Tell me if you guys think it's a good idea. Are you guys concerned? Are you guys pretty hyped for it? Are you guys optimistic? Anything like that? Any thoughts, opinions, or anything like that? All down in the comments. Tell me what you guys think about all of them. But that's about it for this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, go ahead and thumbs up. If you guys want to stay tuned for content similar to this, go ahead and subscribe. But I'm going to go and we'll catch you guys on my next video.